Welcome back to another Texas Chain Saw Massacre. The game video today is a juicy one. It's what we've all been waiting for. The big one. The big one. What's that from? The big one. It's from Toy Story. Today, the big update we've all been waiting for. New family member, new victim, new map, new escape option, Nancy buff. It's all here, but is it good? That's the question. And I tell you, I am a little brokenhearted to be sitting here talking about this today, because it was this close. They were this close.
They had us in the beginning.
They had us in the beginning, man. And it went from the best update this game has ever had. Everything was pretty clean. Minimal bugs. Map, cool. We'll talk about that more in detail in a second. And it ended up becoming the worst game design flaw this game has ever had. And how badly it is dependent on how quickly they act. And if it's anything like Danny, don't hold your breath.
Or anything like we've seen them respond on socials. It's going to be bad.
Yeah, so that's where we are. Let's talk about it. Could be controversial. I don't think this is all that controversial of opinion we're going to have on this. I actually think most people are on the same page here. I've seen some people trying to defend the issue.
Seen a lot of people being like, okay, even I see this.
Right. I've seen a lot of that too. I've seen some people make some pretty ignorant defenses against it as well. So we'll see. Let's start from the beginning.
Did they cook?
Did they cook? That was a tweet. That's one of those moments that set them up. They didn't have to say it.
It's like whenever the NFL players or professional athletes do like the McDonald's commercial, the Raising Cane's commercial, and then they have a bad performance and they're like, Bryce Young next week. And it's them at Raising Cane's or them at Target or McDonald's.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell at Applebee's this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dan Campbell's been getting real shit on because of that teeth pick. See that?
Yeah.
He's dogged on.
Well, he's been chewing a while.
Yeah.
Damn.
A lot of coffee. Insubordinate and churlish. Hey, let's talk about the most important part of this whole update. The Nancy buff that we've been waiting a year for.
They completely rework Nancy?
No. But it is a change that made a difference.
Yes.
You can no longer take out traps as family members when walking through Nancy's traps or going through crawl space. You don't destroy them. Only victims can hit them now. And believe it or not, that one change, which why it takes so long to make that one change, I do not know. But that one change, it made a huge difference.
Sped it up a little bit too.
Yeah, it sped it up. And she is way better, way more useful. Maybe creeping into, with certain combinations, a little too powerful. Because if you take her with those traps.
Pins and needles.
Yeah, you can get even more, right? You take those combinations, and with like Hitchhiker and with Cook and now with Bones, you can make places like Family House a complete waste of time.
Yep.
Just, you're never going anywhere. However, there are some counters. There's always counters to everything, but it's kind of led to a pretty brutal experience. And I don't know, because if you change it, I think you just go back to her being useless again. She's a weird one to get right. And so will these new characters.
Yeah, like she was at the bottom.
Right.
With this change, she's back up. We're so back.
Yeah, she's mid now.
You can't revert that. You can't make it where family can't walk through the traps, because then she's just useless again.
Yeah, I don't know what you would change to balance things out though, and that's the problem with the design of the characters they've made so far, is that a lot of them are trigger based traps. So, yeah, and I don't know. I guess because you can take them out with Bomb Squad. Now Wyatt can take them out with knives that he can pick up. You know, so there are counters, but it's especially brutal for newer players. Yeah. It's a tough thing to face, and it makes things like Family House even harder.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But Nancy buff, is it a good one? Yeah, it works. She's buffed for sure. Is it too much? Maybe.
She's still not a viable option on Nancy's house, though.
Yeah, Nancy. Yeah, it just comes down to the map, because on certain like gas stations, she's extremely useful too, as long as you're in the right combination. But I don't know if you really want her at Slaughterhouse still. You don't want her at Nancy's house still.
The mill, maybe.
Yeah, it depends.
Those key gaps.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, definitely not Nancy's house.
Right.
Her own house.
Yeah. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? But nonetheless, a buff that's been asked for a long time, and it worked. So let's talk about the new map, the Graveyard. The Graveyard. It's a big map. It's a complicated map. It is taking the longest to figure out. That's for sure. At least the basement portion is very tricky to figure out. But I do think in this regard that they cooked. I think the map is pretty good.
Yep.
It is unique. It's way different than the other maps, which I love. I love that. It's a unique layout and, of course, a unique escape. It happened. Finally, unique escape. It does take a little bit of teamwork, and you have a little bit of map knowledge, but there's 3 valves on the map that you have to turn on, and it'll drain the water, and it'll open up another gate that you can pick and run through to escape. And it opens 2 basement doors, 2 drain doors that you can then use that to access either that side of the map or get back into the basement. So, pretty cool. I like it. No battery escape.
Right. Yeah. One thing that I will say about it is a lot of dead ends.
Yeah.
A lot of dead ends, which of course it's a new map, so we're all figuring it out. But new players are really going to have a tough time figuring out some of those dead ends.
Yeah. I think the top portion, the land portion of the map, I think there are a lot of dead ends, but you can figure them out a lot easier, and they can be traversed with gaps a little bit more simplistically. Like there's ways to get out of them.
There's a couple though that are brutal.
There's a couple where if you go the wrong way, you're done. Yeah, right.
You're done.
The basement, on the other hand, that it is very brutal down there. Very tight lanes, a lot of crawl spaces and barricades that are not leading you to safety. You can just work right around them as family and shit on people. It has led to some of the worst basement rushing I've ever seen from family. I hate that. It really just, especially on a new map, it is not fun. It's not fun to deal with people rushing the basement every single time.
Right.
So it's been a little tough to figure out that basement. And then there's 2 things unique about this part of the map, really, the basement, is that there is one piece of the basement that is like kind of completely separate from everything. That's really only accessible through the drain. And then there's a separate door that has to be picked to access the fuse escape. And there's another drain door down there. So if you don't pick that and you open up the fuse, unless you hit a specific well, which you can, unless you hit that specific well, you will not be able to get to the fuse exit. People are starting to figure that out already. I see that door picked pretty much every single time. People have figured out that well. So those who have used the fuse, which is not many, they've been able to rush it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So that is unique as well.
And the gen side of the map, if you will, it's different enough.
Yeah, it's weird because it is very RNG based over there and where that gen spawns. But that has definitely been the go-to escape, at least from our experience. A lot of people are just pushing gen because you just go through 2 gates over there, kick the gen and go, and get everybody out. So it can be done very quickly, and it's not exactly difficult to explore that and figure out where to go.
Right.
So far, gen has been the escape for people to use. And family has figured that out as well. You're starting to see cook padlock the 2 gates. If you have a cook, you're seeing hitchhikers trap the gen, trap the gates in that area specifically. So, counters for that are already kind of being figured out too. So, I think the map is good. I like the only thing that's disappointing is the bell does nothing. You can't even ring the bell. It's just
a big long ladder.
Big long ladder for nothing.
For a health bottle.
Yeah, health bottle. It'd been nice if they would have done something with the bell, especially because it was in the trailer. But whatever, I guess.
Do not drop down the top of the big tall ladder.
Yeah, it hurts.
It hurts bad.
Yeah. And then we were talking about we haven't seen a lot of Leatherfaces right now because if you're going to be playing Bones, which most people are right now, just to get them leveled up and use them, you're not going to see people running Leatherface with them too often. It's been a lot of Bones Sissy Hitch, Bones Cook Hitch, etc. Billet Hands. I'm not seeing a lot of Leatherface right now, but I will say Leatherface, once he falls back into the meta again, we kick Bones to the side, he's going to be nasty in that basement, and he is. I did one test run with it, killed 3 in the basement like it was nothing, you know? So
yeah, I mean, of course, we're experienced players.
Yeah.
We could have gone against newer players.
Yeah. And people are still learning that basement.
And people are learning the map. But running Hitch and Sissy is definitely the way to go to get around and cut people off and
chasers,
pursuit angles.
Yep. You want the chasers out there. And that's where Leatherface is, I think, still going to fall into the meta on that map. Because having someone speedy that quick and that deadly is going to help a lot. Hands and Cook, I don't know. I've seen some good cooks there because there's one gate that accesses the 2 valves. And that gate has been getting padlocked a lot.
Yep.
And Hands, being able to camp Gen, because he could just camp Fuse and Gen, chill in that area, kind of take over. Fuse box always spawns on the chapel, so it's not very difficult to figure out where to go.
It's close enough to the Gen where if Hands is at the Gen, he can run right over to the Fuse.
Yeah, depending if the Gen spawns on the outside or the inside of the gate. So, yeah, again, RNG comes out. If the Gen spawns on the outside of the gate or like closer to the chapel is what I'm saying with that.
Yeah.
And then the fuse box on the back of the chapel, you could camp the shit out of it. It doesn't even just have to be Hands, just in general, just camp it. And you've got 2 objectives completely held down. So again, a very RNG based map. The Mill had the same issue, still does have the same issue. So pros and cons to that. But in general, for new maps, I think this one wins. It's really cool. I love the rain, the storm. I love the flooding.
The mud?
The
little
mud.
much.
There's a little bit too much.
A little much mud.
It seems to affect family more than it does victims too. I don't know if that's someone test that, will you?
In my experience, and in your experience, and in Chase's experience, yeah.
Yeah, even when we're playing victim, I just feel like we're not being as affected by it.
Right.
So I don't know, but I really do like the new map. In this update, if there's one thing that I thought they did a really good job with, it was the new map.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put that in the A tier.
Yeah, not S tier.
Oh,
A tier.
Nancy Buff's S tier.
Okay. Now let's get on to the new characters, huh? Let's start with Bones. Okay. Bones. He's played by Bill Moseley, mocapped, likeness, and voiced by Bill Moseley, which immediately, as a horror fan, makes you like him.
Yeah.
You're like, they did it. It's not Chop Top, but very Otis. You Devil's Rejects fans out there, if you like, it's very Otis. Yep. So that's cool. It's cool to see, and just getting Bill Moseley in there in general is great. However, I originally thought he was pretty good. I think he kind of sucks.
Yeah, you mess around with the attribute points a little bit, try to get better builds.
Well, here's the thing, and this is why it's really hard to do a formal review on Bones at this time.
Right.
His attribute points are broken, so we don't know specifically his endurance and his savagery do not work. You cannot upgrade them.
Yep. So just put all your points into blood harvesting for now.
Yeah, and that, because of the way he's meant to be a chaser and get kills, for him to not be able to increase his savagery, which starts at a 10 or something like that, 10 or 15, to be that low and not be able to increase it is pretty devastating.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can't really judge the character yet until you actually can see what he can do. But what we can judge is what it is working, and I think his chasing perks, which was unique for him, because he is allowed, with perks, he's allowed to go over barricades, he's able to go through windows, and he can drop down wells. All of them, except maybe wells here and there, all of them are too slow, where they're just useless.
Yep, the barricade one especially.
It's doo-doo.
Very, very, way too slow to even consider using. Especially on the graveyard, where most of those barricades, you can just walk right around and catch them before they even get up.
Yeah. Really, I took that perk off. It took a few games. We're like, oh, I got to level 3. I was like, maybe it'll be a little bit better, because you get a second back. And you lose. It starts at 8 seconds. You can work it down to 7 seconds to level 3, and it's not enough. No. It's so slow. So the only time it would actually be useful is if there's truly a part of the map that cannot be accessed as a result of the characters you're playing.
Right. Happens
with the fuse box sometimes at Family House. Then he could be useful. That's it. it's bad. It's way too slow. So that's useless. That's either it's getting a serious buff. I would say at least another second. I would say 2 seconds off.
2.
I don't really see why it's a big deal if he's going that fast. It's still significantly slower than victims, but you don't know until you try it. The well one, I'd say 1 second faster.
Yeah, it's almost there.
Yeah, it's close. But right now, even if you go at the exact same time as a victim and the in cap, you cannot get up in time to kill an in capped victim.
Right.
Which maybe is what they want.
I would think if you go down at the same time, the exact same time.
Yeah.
If they're in capped, you should be able. You're going down there to kill them.
Right.
I would think you should be able to. Now, as far as if they're not in capped, no. That
yeah, they
you
should
shouldn't
still
be able to
get. They
catch
should still get up before you. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. So
exactly.
it's finding that place with it where it's still feasible to keep a chase, but it's not completely overpowered.
Yeah, if you're 2 seconds behind the victim and they in cap, and you hop down the well, sure, you're not going to get them.
Yeah,
They'll be able to stand up before then. But if you jump down the exact same moment, instead of taking the chance to hit them,
right,
you choose to jump down the well and they in cap you. I think Bones should be able to stand up to kill them before.
Yeah,
they get up.
That would be my opinion too, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And the window one, going out the window, it's same thing. It's just too slow. You don't get up fast enough that almost every window that you'd chase someone out of, you could just go through the door instead.
Right.
Like I tried jumping through a window on Family House and the back window and tried getting someone in capped, and they got up before I could get to them, and it just doesn't feel very useful.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's funny.
Yeah, right.
It's funny to watch, but it just feels pretty useless. So,
Yeah.
And now as for his bombs, the bombs can be very clutch. I find that the best use of them is to put them on Grandpa in a position where it's facing towards Grandpa. That way, anytime they do a stab and they're not trying to prep for the bomb, they will go for the stab and they'll be stuck in the animation of stabbing him and will always get blown up. So I think that's been very useful. Other than that, the bombs tick so long before they blow up, and they're pretty loud, that they're pretty easily avoidable.
Yeah, there was one of the first games that we had where you as Bones put a bomb down at the graveyard at the one crawl space at the back of the church, and I was sissy, and I chased someone up to that barricade, and I hit them, and I ran out of stamina as they were going over. And so I hit them, swung, and then, was my animation for running out of stamina. And then the second I got out of that animation, the bomb exploded and I hit the ground, and they were long gone in the church.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of family getting knocked down instead. A lot of Bones himself getting knocked down. I was actually, as victim, I was using it against Bones a lot. I had several clips of that, whereas you see the bomb, you go into its radius to set it off, and then you just walk away. It's so easy. It's so routine. And then because it does take a significant amount of time to make a new one as Bones, where you have to go pick up a spark plug from the explosion site, take it to a blood bucket, make a new one, put it back. It takes time. I mean, and a lot of time. So for all of that, just to have something as easy as that is to avoid, it doesn't feel like enough where you'd want to run the character on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
So in terms of Bones, I think he'll fall to the meta very quickly if he doesn't get changed at all. He's fun. I get it. And I had some fun moments with him, but he's just going to fall right back out.
It's nice to have 3 characters able to go through some gaps.
Yeah, which has been really nice at Graveyard specifically.
Yeah.
But he's not good enough.
No.
And again, maybe this will change once he has some savagery on him, has his endurance buffed up a little bit. Because I think I like the fact that you can run Serrated and Fired Up together. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of potential with that. It's just, I can't tell because he hits like a bitch right now.
Yeah.
I can't tell. So, all right. Now let's talk about the best part of this update. Where they really cooked Wyatt. Played by Skeet Ulrich. Not mocap by him, but it is Skeet Ulrich likeness and his voice. So he's hot. All right.
He's hot.
It's great. Cool character. Has the ability to throw knives. He starts with 3 of them. Takes a little bit to unsheath them. It gets pretty close to instant once you level him up if you choose to go that path, but it does take a while to unsheath. But then if you throw it at a family member, it stuns them. It knocks over your regular family members and it stuns Leatherface.
Yep.
And it's pretty cool. Pretty cool little ability. The thing where it all falls apart is when you level him up and you get him to a level 3 ability, he can throw his knives at objectives like the generator and the battery and shut them off instantly. And there's no cooldown on this. And on top of that, he has a level 2 ability where he can pick up his knives that he throws. He loses one. He only can carry 2 then, but he can pick them up immediately. Well, that level 3 ability that allows you to shut the gen and battery off also allows you to take out traps. So on top of being able to instantly shut off the battery and shut off the generator, you can take out traps instantly and just pick the knife right back up, making Bomb Squad obsolete. You don't need it. Even though he has Bomb Squad, he can run it. He does not need it once you level up his ability. And this level 3 ability to shut off the gen and battery is so unbelievably stupid and broken and ignorant that I just cannot believe it is in the game.
If you remember, if you've been around for the last year, remember when Danny came out with that instant tamper where it was instant?
Yeah. This is so much worse.
So there was a lot of backlash with that, and they ended up changing it and saying, "We hear you." Mm-hmm. And now a year later, we released the same exact thing that was broken. Right before last year, Danny, it was right before their holiday break. So they didn't get to it till January.
Yeah. Something like that.
Weeks, month.
It was 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
And now we're at the point where it's about to be their holiday break and we have this broken ability.
Yeah.
And now they're gone.
Yeah. Luckily, I've had a couple days to stop being pissed off about this, and it's just another like, really, dude, again. Yeah, I have to assume, and this isn't a shot at like, you guys don't play test your game. I have to assume that Gun, the folks that work internally at Gun, I have to assume that they're not playing the game a lot. And I think that's a fair assumption. They're not play testers. Okay. I understand we all want to be like, you don't play your fucking game. I'm being nice about this. They're not play testers. I get it. They have a play testing team, Testronic. It is their job to play test, and they miss shit constantly. They don't play enough to understand metas, so they just miss this. So I have to assume Gun just didn't play this or played enough or didn't read I don't know, dude. For this to get into the public build again, for this exact same issue to happen again, either comes from they just didn't see it, they didn't know about it, they didn't test it themselves, which again, they're not play testers, or this is a perfect example of pay to win greed. And I really hate to throw that label on them, because I've always, this game has been a really bad, it's too much paid content, but you gotta fucking pay the bills, bro. You gotta keep the lights on. But this is one of the worst examples I've seen of straight up pay to win bullshit. And they're gonna release this, and then they're gonna nerf the shit out of him in 2 months
after everyone's paid for it.
After everyone's bought it and paid for it. And whether you like it or not, whether that was intentionally what they were doing, which again, I think they're good people. I don't think that's something they would do, but that's the label you're getting, and that's how it's going to look.
That's how it's perceived. You've done it once, you've done it twice, you've done it 3 times.
Yeah, dude, I don't understand.
What does it look like? Like that's all we're saying here.
Exactly. I'm not trying to put the label on it. What I'm saying is anyone who doesn't know who these people are just watches this pay to win situation happen again. That's exactly the reputation it's going to be. And dude, all of us sat there that morning. The update came out. We opened the game and we looked at it and we read the ability tree and we said, he can interact with the gen and battery with a knife. He can't instantly turn it off, right?
They're not doing what Danny again.
You can go play this shit back on the stream. We did that. It was like, you can't instantly shut it off, right? There's no way they did that shit twice in 1 year. There's no way they did that shit again where you can instantly shut it off, and that's what it is. So everybody that plays this game knew that the second they read that on paper, that it was going to be bad. And dude, it is bad. It is horrible. I mean, Wheezy has clips of throwing a knife over the fucking family house and shutting off the gen.
First try.
Yeah, first try after throwing it over there and shutting off the battery. There's clips of people running out of family house and immediately hitting gen and immediately hitting battery from a distance because you can do that.
Cross map.
Hey, what if you go to Nancy's house and you run out the fucking side guard and hit a gen? There goes Connie up the front gate.
Done.
So unless you were camping it, unless you had Cook on it, even then you could probably counter with Cook there. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, once we get our Wyatts up to level 3, I think we're gonna go on stream and do a little experiment.
Yeah,
and try. And the one time we want fucking Nancy's house, we're never gonna get it.
Probably.
We get Nancy's house all the fucking time. Worst map in the game.
It doesn't matter the map.
Well,
it really doesn't. But that one is the worst. You can escape in less than 2 minutes. The whole team can escape.
We were doing that without Wyatt. We were rushing up that side garden, kicking the gen, running up the driveway.
Yeah.
Done.
And the only way to stop it is if somebody stops you from kicking the gen. Now you cannot stop it. There's nothing you can do. The only thing you could do is ripstall it. And ripstall's got a cooldown. Throwing knives doesn't. It's bad. And I'm not, like I said, I've had some time to calm down about this, not be mad about it. It's just a game. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I think everybody should do. And you get the fuck off the game. That's what I think. And I'm not telling you, like, let's boycott them. No, this game is in this state is going to be shitty for you, especially family players. And I know there's not a lot left, but as it's already bad, it's been a few days. It's already bad. But as people start to level him up and get more time to play with them, it's going to be every game. You're going to have not just Wyatt, but you're also going to have Danny. So you still have somebody who can tamper and you have somebody who can instant shut things off. It's just don't play. And that's where we are. I said it on stream. I'm going to max out my characters. And then I'm done.
We're gonna prove the point that everyone else has already been doing.
Yeah, everyone's proved it's awful.
It's awful.
Yeah,
it's worse than when Danny came out.
Yeah, so
it's worse.
I mean it wholeheartedly. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not. I don't want to be. It's just a game, and I agree with you. And with this game, I'm making the choice that in terms of the base game mode, maybe we'll jump into Rush Week, but gonna get those characters maxed out, and I'm done until they fix it. And I just, because I'm not going to go in and have a fucking aneurysm every time I play this game. It's awful. It's the worst thing that's been put into this game.
It's so disappointing.
Yeah.
Because we thought we were going to get one map a year.
And we got two.
We got two. Holy shit. And the map's good. The map's goated. Uh-huh. They cooked. They tweeted, did we cook for the map? You sure as hell did.
Yeah.
100%. You killed it. And now we have, it doesn't matter because the game's over in 2 minutes.
Beyond some bad buggy updates that have happened, which there have been a couple bad ones.
Happy anniversary.
Hey, the anniversary update's a perfect example of that. This is as close to the game is going to get to being unplayable. And it sucks that it sits behind a paywall. It's a paywall character. And I don't know, man. It kind of felt there was a moment for all of us where we're like, hey, dude, look at us. The game is kind of thriving a little bit here. We're kind of making a comeback, which is great. Of course, we want the game to do well.
Yeah.
Everybody is happier if this game is doing well. Trust me. So, yeah, to have that, it just really sucks. It really puts a damper on things. And I will not be playing it once I max out that character. I'm done until they fix it. I hope they fix it well. But here comes the discussion. How do you fix it? Because I don't know what you do, because you did it. You showed us the power of it. Now what? You make it where he shuts off the generator halfway, shuts off the battery halfway, make it where it only applies to traps, which already is powerful as fuck, by the way.
Yeah.
To be able to just throw something out of a trap and pick it up immediately and just have unlimited knives like that is insanely powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention you can throw it at Grandpa, right? You can do a lot. So yeah, what do? I don't know. Because whatever it is, it's going to be a crazy nerf. And I don't like seeing pay-to-win characters that you just spent your money on get completely demolished. But this is stupid. And this is completely ruining the game. You already have... come on. Hey, raise your hand if you you're in a victim queue and you sat and waited 10 plus minutes for another family member to go in. Or or for the lobby ends because the backfill doesn't work because they're not there. The game is already in a position where it's not fun to play that. Unless you're in a squad who is organized and you're willing to camp and all this. And it's not fun to play family.
No.
And I understand that victims have been nerfed and nerfed and nerfed and nerfed, but so was family to a degree. And they've all sweat buffs. Like, I understand there have been a lot of victim nerfs, so I totally hear it. But I think a lot of it's for good reason. And why is it that despite all these nerfs, nobody wants to play family? Because it's not fucking fun. It's not fun because you deal with shit like that. And that's it. That's it, man.
Right. And then the only thing that's going to bring the family queue up is a new character, Bones. And his attributes don't work.
Yeah.
And his unique perks suck. Take too long. Like, it's just, we yeah. It's already been said.
I don't like I know a lot of people, we do 45-minute podcasts on this game. People are like, you take it way too seriously and whatnot. Just stop playing. That's what I'm doing. And I'm trying to address it as calmly as I can. I just think it sucks. I think it's extremely disappointing.
So when it came to Friday the 13th,
mm-hmm.
we played that off stream all the time.
Mm-hmm.
For Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game, I haven't played for fun off stream in a year.
Yeah, just about that.
It's getting to that point, and I won't be playing unless we are streaming it. You should see our group chat. Leak the group chat.
The group chat.
But every time it's like, hey, we're gonna stream. What are we streaming?
Like anything but Texas.
Anything but TCM. Anything but Texas.
I honestly,
it's tough. It's really hard to even stream it.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be so bad if we could just play victim, but we can't. So we bite the bullet and we go play family. Then we get called family mans and we're douchebags, but we don't want to be playing family. We're like the rest of you. We don't want to play family, but we do it because otherwise we're sitting there in 30-minute queues.
We will. You can go back and even watch the last stream. There were a couple times where we sat as victims and we waited for 12 minutes.
Yeah, and
the lobby ends and we search quick match again and we get family, and that's the only reason we're going to play. And then we get bullied the fuck out of in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah. It's like, I can have fun playing the game still, but it is so dependent on who you're going against. And now with a whole other character that breaks the game in the mix, the odds of you finding a game where like everybody's kind of just having fun and not rushing you or whatever, it feels slim. And like I said, that's cool, man. The game's designed to do that. I don't blame the players. I never blame the players for these situations, because if you can do it, you're going to do it. If family can exploit, they're going to exploit. If victims can exploit, they're going to exploit. These aren't exploits. These are literally game design choices. And it just makes for a not fun experience. Rush Week, however, private matches are now in play. And I didn't test that because I was just doing everything else. But if they bring parties into Rush Week, I'll play that a lot with you guys. Like, that would be fun to do. I'll stream that every day of the week. Rush Week is always fun because it just doesn't matter. That casual experience that I just described, it is way more consistent inside of Rush Week. You just don't give a shit. You just have a good time. You run around, door slam your friends, etc. That's fun. And I like that game mode, and I hope they bring more to it. I just desperately, I think you need to put parties in there. I think it'll be okay.
Well,
teaming won't happen. It'll be all right.
And the fact is that 9 times out of 10, we can have 3 people all search at the same time and get into the same game.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, all 3 of us. And that 10th time, 2 of us are getting in instead of the 3rd.
I would just still prefer it. Can we get a party, please?
Right, exactly. So
you could do it anyway.
Right.
You could do it anyway.
People are going to do that, what we just described, because we do it.
Yeah.
On stream. It's proof of it.
Yeah. Just
add parties.
Yeah. I really don't think teaming will be an issue.
No.
And if you're really scared about it, just go ahead, limit the parties to 3, maybe even 2 or 3. 3, I think, is fine. And then just make it where they can't be Johnny and done. I don't know why we're circling around this. Like, just add parties to Rush Week and let's have a good time.
Right. Either your option is don't play with your friends, or go in a private game and hopefully you have
enough friends to fill
all these friends.
Yeah.
We're gamers. We don't have friends.
Yeah. We have the privilege of a chat being able to join, which a lot of people don't have that privilege.
Right.
So yeah, just add parties. It's cool. Like, it's not going to break everything. unless it's a coding issue, in which case, all right, it might break everything. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully it was a decision based on, although parties did break again with this update, which
yeah,
that's a whole other issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was seriously as calmly and respectfully I could put this review of this patch, because I do think that is the worst thing that's happened in this game so far. It's even worse than Day One Danny.
Do we ever hear anything about the Wyatt? It was the Wyatt skill tree where on each end, level 1 was the same text.
I haven't seen people complaining about that. I don't know.
Maybe that was hot fixed and we just never realized it.
I thought it kind of seemed like a buffering issue that was happening on the back end.
Maybe, I don't know. But that was something that, well, you saw in your game and I saw in my game.
Yeah, mine ended up loading in. Yours didn't.
Yeah, mine was the same text. I haven't checked since I checked that last time, so I don't know, maybe. And then Xbox crashing is another huge issue.
Xbox crashing, and then the Wyatt the console crashing,
and then the whole server will crash.
Yeah.
If Wyatt misses a throwing knife.
It seems to be when he misses, but it's not every time.
It's like when
it's a desyncing issue that's happening. And
right. And are we gonna get those fixed before this 3-week break? So Xbox is gonna crash again for weeks?
Probably, yeah.
You can't do that, man. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Sure,
it really is.
Yeah, it is. And I'm sure Black Tower is trying to get a hot fix out, but from what I've seen, and I was gauging the room a little bit, maybe things have changed since we recorded this and coming out. I didn't see them say anything where they're trying to get a hot fix out before break. And then just to throw a little salt in the wound, this is me being a dick, but that Wyatt post just kind of pissed me off.
I was about to say that. So you're reading, your comm devs are reading all the feedback about how fucking P Wyatt and these perks are.
Yeah.
And then you make a post on social media saying he's the savior.
Yeah. I know these are planned beats, right? These are planned beats they're doing. That Tanner made that graphic probably a month ago, dude, and they had a beat planned. It's kind of one of those read the room, tone deaf moments.
To read the room.
Yeah, I don't know.
You have to read the room. You have to adjust your social media plan, your marketing plan for it, because it looks so bad when everyone's talking about how, Wyatt is the savior because he's pay to win definition. Game breaking, game ending, win. And you tweet, he's the savior. Yeah. You're going to win if you have Wyatt on your team.
Yeah. I understand that you can't let your social media just die. But I think a little bit of a clear post that said, we are actually working on a hot fix or an update. We're hearing your feedback. I know they're trying to do that on Reddit and whatnot. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those tone deaf things to me.
I shouldn't have to go to a reply to that tweet that everyone's upset about. I shouldn't have to dig through replies to find a screenshot from Reddit.
Yeah. That happens a lot, dude. Discord too. It's like
you got to communicate on the socials. You have to.
The big boy ones, you know.
And like we said earlier with the athletes and the Raising Cane's commercials, you put out a tweet saying, "Did we cook?" And then all these things happen. You can't play on Xbox because of the crashes.
Yeah, you put out "Did we cook?" tweets after the update comes out. I literally said that when they tweeted that. I was like, you don't say that yet because you might break shit, and you know better. You know you're gonna break shit. God damn it!
Before the update, they tweeted, "Did we cook?"
Yeah, like,
that's not gonna age well, and it did not.
Yeah, it's every time something breaks in these updates, and it's okay. I get it. Shit happens. Small dev team, but yeah, it's just kind of ages like milk.
Yeah, but
that's all. That's the patch. A great one turned to a devastating one, and so bad that I don't want to play anymore. So that's where we're at with that. Hopefully it gets fixed soon. Well, really, as nicely as I could say it, I really hope that they end up pushing out a patch before New Year's and at least fix the crashes and things like that. Because if you're gonna play the bullshit, it'd be nice to actually be able to play the bullshit. That's all.
Christmas time is here.
Yeah.
And
they're 50% off right now, right? So
yeah, still promote the sale to those players who can't play your game.
well, they can play sometimes.
Rush week.
Yeah, dude.
I don't even know actually if you can on. I don't think it's always crashing, but I think it's consistently crashing on Xbox.
It happens. I've seen Nick Nasty's stuff. Like it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. So it's enough where it's frustrating as all hell.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just so unfortunate.
I don't know.
And we're in this situation again.
I want to clarify something as well because sometimes I understand we take this game. We talk too seriously about this kind of stuff, and it's like deep over analyze. The reason now that I'm so disappointed by it, I personally think that the game is getting really close to the end of its line, and I think this update was very dependent on what choice they make next on what to do with content. And when something like this happens, where it's just another disappointing break, I think they made plenty of money on it, so they might be okay to run another content pass or run through the end of the year into 2026. You know, maybe it just sucks that what could have been the savior, like Wyatt, he could have been the savior. Kind of, it might throw people away again, and I think that sucks. Because retainability is the key right now with this game, because it does a good job of bringing in players, but it struggles to keep them because it's a hard game for new players, and now the old players that come in and deal with the shit they don't want to do any. It's like, okay, we'll go back to Dead by Daylight. That's why it's the most disappointing, because I can see the end of the tunnel here, and I'm worried that this could be the last map we ever get for the game, which could happen. So that's why it's a little more serious this time around, because I don't want to see the game die. Really don't.
And if this isn't the last map we get, can we get it before fucking July?
No.
There
will be, this is my call now. So what this content pass ends February. I bet you we get a Rush Week map in April. And probably a new map, maybe June or July. So
June, the only Friday the 13th in 2025 is in June. Are they going to hit that?
Maybe.
I mean, it's a horror day. It's a horror-filled day.
Yeah.
So hitting that week,
especially when it lands in June, even more Jason friendly.
Yeah, if you can get it that week, so people can play it over that weekend, the Friday the 13th weekend. Like that'd be big. But
see,
at this rate, we're looking at August.
I'm not, it's not very clear how much Sumo worked on this map. Maybe it's none at all. When Black Tower released their first map, I didn't have high expectations because they are a small team. So for them to deliver a map like Graveyard, that is a dynamic map, which is cool as shit. To have a dynamic map, and for the size and the mazes of it, I'm shocked that Black Tower, if they worked on it solo, they did a great job. So, and you've seen Rush Week. I mean, you've seen that the sorority house is great. So, Black Tower, now that we see what they're capable of a little bit, it gives me a little bit of hope. They can cook out some pretty good maps, put together some cool things.
But how long do they have to cook?
It's at least 6 months, it seems. So, we'll see.
And that's if they're not dedicated to a Rush Week map,
and which they're gonna be.
Right.
They're gonna keep Rush Week going for sure. Yeah. We didn't talk about that. What were your thoughts on the cosmetic packs for Rush Week?
Really? You're really asking me that? I didn't buy them because it was the same for every character.
Yeah, it's a pack. It's a holiday pack and a homecoming pack, but it's just the same outfit across the board for
each character. It's not for me. I'm not going to spend my money on it, and I'm not. Yeah. So, but you bought it.
I bought both, and that is I love the holiday pack. The homecoming pack I think kind of sucks, but it's kind of thing where I'm just giving back where I can. I like Rush Week. I want that mode to keep going. So if throwing a couple bucks at a cosmetic pack encourages them to keep making content for it, I'm in. So
Yeah, I'm not.
that was it. I like the Christmas one though. I like running around my Halloween themed house, in my sorority house, in my Christmas pajamas. Cool.
You listen. You do an ugly sweater pack where the sweaters are different for
Yeah.
each character. I'm buying that 100%.
Yeah. I
Make
don't know.
them Halloween themed ugly Christmas sweaters.
The way they have the characters, and this is why the packs work the way they do. The way they have the characters is where you can put any cosmetic on any character. So it's how you can't like make sweaters specific to a character inside of Rush Week. You just have to make 5 different sweaters that you can apply.
Right.
And that's what a true pack would be. So
I'm into that. Do ugly Christmas sweater, but Halloween themed Christmas sweaters. All in. I'm buying that. But different ones for every victim.
I will say, and I understand that this would be taking away development resources, but it would have been dope as shit to see that sorority house dressed up for Christmas.
Christmas lights.
Yeah, Christmas lights, and then you step right into Black Christmas, and it would be so cool to experience that. So it's a shame that it doesn't happen, or at least unless they do some miracle this week for it. Do a holiday event. It sucks that that's not going to happen, but I totally get not taking away development resources and focus on the real shit.
Snow.
God, it would be cool
in Texas.
I think who even cares? I think it'd be fun.
Right.
Throw snow, throw the Christmas lights up, get some Christmas trees in there.
Yeah, just a light dusting, Christmas lights, Christmas trees, little ones.
Yeah. I mean, if they're cool doing a holiday pack, it's not because they don't want to have fun with it. It's just you don't want to take the resources. Yep. Yeah, I get it. It's
exactly.
just I still wanted to see it. That's all. Are we done?
So we're just done then.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. A lot of pros, one big fat fucking con, and that's the update in a nutshell. Unfortunately, that one con does pretty heavily outweigh the pros, which sucks. But it can be fixed. Just hopefully sooner rather than later. That's all. That's our thoughts. Let us know yours in the comments below. That's going to wrap this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to our channel for more rants like this one. And of course, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.